What if the very thing drawing you to your partner is also what is tearing you apart? Hi, my name is Matusz, and the topic of this video is the truth about anxious and avoidant relationships. It is 2 years ago. My wife and I had just broken up. For years, we had been stuck in a cycle, me chasing, her pulling away. I didn't understand it then. I just thought, why won't she talk to me? Why doesn't she want to fix this? And I was desperate to make it work. I thought, if we just talked more, spent more time together, surely things would get better. But the more I pushed, the more she retreated. And then I stumbled upon the book Attached. The book opened my eyes to something I had never considered: attachment styles. Suddenly, the patterns in our relationship made sense. I was anxious, constantly preoccupied with fixing things. She was avoidant, needing space when things got tense. We were playing out this classic anxious avoidant dynamic without even realizing it. But here is the thing: what I learned wasn't just about her, it was about me, about the way I showed up in the relationship, about my own insecurities and fears. And that realization was the first step toward not only repairing our relationship, but rebuilding it into something far healthier than it had ever been before. So, why do anxious and avoidant partners attract each other? It's almost like a magnet. One person craves closeness and the other craves independence. But this push and pull dynamic creates tension. The anxious partner feels abandoned, while the avoidant partner feels smothered. And if you've been in this kind of relationship, you know how exhausting it can be. This is where the framework from Attached comes in. It explains that attachment styles, whether secure, anxious, avoidant, or disorganized, often stem from how we were treated as children. Maybe your parents were inconsistent, so you grew up anxious about whether your needs would be met. Or maybe they were emotionally distant and you learned to rely only on yourself. Whatever the case, these early experiences shape how we navigate relationships as adults. Here is why this works. Attachment styles aren't permanent. They are not fixed traits you're stuck with forever. They are patterns of behavior that you can change. But it takes awareness, effort, and most importantly, a commitment to becoming secure partner. And that is exactly what my wife and I decided to do. After reading Attached, I had this moment of clarity. I realized I had been blaming her for being avoidant. I saw her as the problem, someone who needed to change so we could be happy. But then I asked myself a tough question: do I value her and our relationship enough to do the work, even if she doesn't change? The answer was yes. And that's when everything shifted. I stopped seeing her as an avoidant partner and started seeing her as my wife. Not a label, not a type, just her. And let me tell you, it wasn't easy. We had to unlearn years of unhealthy patterns. For me, that meant recognizing when my anxiety was driving me to act out of fear. For her, it meant noticing when her avoidant tendencies were pushing me away. The key was communicating these things without judgment and with a shared goal: becoming secure together. If you are in an anxious, avoidant relationship, here is what I want you to remember. Your partner isn't their attachment style. They are not the avoidant or the anxious one. They are your partner. And the dynamic you are stuck in is just a symptom of something much deeper, often rooted in childhood wounds that need healing. Insecure attachment often stems from a lack of safety or consistency that you experience in your past. Maybe as a child you didn't feel truly seen, supported, or understood. Your parents might have been loving in their own way, but unable to meet your emotional needs because they were overwhelmed, stressed, or dealing with their own unresolved issues. Or maybe it wasn't your parents at all. Perhaps it was a past romantic relationship, someone who broke your trust, rejected your vulnerability, or left you feeling like you weren't enough. But here is the thing. While understanding the source of your attachment wounds is one of the steps to changing it, what is even more important is realizing that those wounds don't define you. They don't dictate your future unless you allow them to. Think of it this way. If you fall and break your leg, knowing where or how you fell can help you avoid falling the same way again. But the healing that comes from what you do next. You focus on rest, therapy, and strengthening the leg, not replaying the fall over and over and over in your mind. The same is true for insecure attachment. Whether it came from childhood, an ex, or even a series of experiences throughout your life, the details don't change this truth. The goal is not to dwell on how you used to be in the past, but to create a secure, healthy relationship in the present and forward into your future. And this isn't about erasing the pain or pretending it didn't happen. It's about acknowledging it with compassion and saying, I see you, I hear you, but you don't control me anymore. You are not the scared child who wasn't supported or the hurt partner left doubting their worth. You are here right now, and you have the power to choose a different path. It is also important to remind yourself that none of this is your fault. If you grew up anxious or avoidant, you were doing the best you could to survive and protect yourself in the environment you were in. That same survival instinct followed you into adulthood because it's all you knew. But now you have the tools and the awareness to break free from those past patterns. The journey to becoming secure isn't about perfection. It's not about waking up one day and magically feeling stable and confident in every moment. It's about making small, conscious steps and choices to show up differently, even when it's hard. It's about focusing on where you are headed, not where you have been. And where you are headed is a place of connection, safety, and trust, not just with your partner, but mostly with yourself. Because when you begin to feel secure in who you are, your relationships naturally become a reflection of that inner stability. So if you are carrying the weight of your past, take a deep breath and give yourself some grace. You are not broken and you are not stuck. You are just a person who is learning, healing, and growing one step at a time. And that is more than enough. Okay, so the question is obvious, isn't it? How do you become a secure partner? There are actually three key pillars. And before we dive into this important part, let me just quickly say, if you are finding this helpful, make sure to subscribe to this channel and please share this video with someone who might need it. It really helps and I'd love for more people to benefit from these insights. Okay, ready to dive deep into the three pillars of a secure partner? Let us begin. Pillar number one, emotional homes. Every one of us has an emotional baseline, a set of emotions we live in most of the time. These emotions shape how we interpret the world and react to situations. For someone with an anxious attachment style, their emotional home might include fear, worry, or a constant sense of uncertainty. For an avoidant partner, it could be self reliance, emotional distance, or a need to stay in control. To become secure, you need to consciously shift your emotional home. Secure partners operate from a place of trust, love, and stability, not because they never feel anxious or frustrated, but because they don't let those emotions define their decisions or relationships. Think of it like renovating a house. If you grew up in a chaotic or unstable environment, your emotional house may have shaky foundations. But with awareness and effort, you can rebuild. This doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't mean you'll never feel old emotions creeping in. But with practice, trust and stability can become the new norm. How do you make this shift? You can start by paying attention to how you feel in your day to day life. Are you always on edge, waiting for something to go wrong? When those emotions arise, don't suppress them. Acknowledge them and ask yourself, what would a secure partner feel or do in this moment? Over time, these small shifts can reshape your emotional landscape. The pillar number two, identity. Your identity is one of the most powerful forces in shaping your behavior. Imagine someone who says, I am a runner. You don't have to ask if they run regularly. You already know they do. They probably have running gear, a routine, and a mindset that prioritizes their health. They don't have to force themselves to run. It's just part of who they are. Now think about how you identify yourself in your relationship. If you constantly say, I am just an anxious person, or I have always been avoidant, you are reinforcing those patterns within. Your actions will naturally align with how you see yourself. But what if you shifted that identity? What if instead you started saying, I am a secure partner? Even if it doesn't feel true right now, adopting that mindset can start to rewire how you show up. Here is the key: behaviors follow identity, not the other way around. Trying to act secure without addressing how you see yourself is like putting a fresh coat of paint on a crumbling wall. The real work happens when you change how you see yourself, because once you believe you are secure, your actions will naturally follow. The pillar number three is beliefs. What you believe about love, connection, and intimacy determines how you behave in relationships. For example, if you believe people can't be trusted, you'll always keep a part of yourself walled off, even if you crave closeness. If you believe relationships never work out, you'll subconsciously sabotage them before they have a chance to grow. But secure partners hold very different beliefs. They believe their relationships are safe spaces. They trust their partner's intentions even during conflict. They believe that love is about connection, not about control. And these beliefs create a foundation for healthy and lasting relationships. Here is why this is so powerful. Beliefs act like a filter for your reality. Imagine you believe your partner doesn't truly care about you. If they are quiet one evening, you might assume they are upset or pulling away. But if you believe your partner loves and values you, you'll see the same behavior as them needing some personal time, and you will respond with understanding instead of anxiety. Shifting your beliefs isn't easy, but it doesn't have to take years of effort either. 7 years ago, both me and my wife have been certified in hypnotherapy and neurolinguistic programming. And so we both have first-hand experience of knowing how powerful the subconscious mind is in shaping our reality. The beliefs we carry about love, relationships, and even ourselves are often deeply rooted in our subconscious, formed through early experiences or past relationships. But here's the secret: these beliefs can be shifted more quickly than you might think. Through hypnosis, you can access the deeper layers of your mind where these beliefs live, bypassing the critical, analytical part of the brain that often keeps us stuck in old patterns. It's like rewriting the software that's been running your emotional responses on autopilot. And this is exactly what my wife and I use to shift our attachment styles so rapidly. Instead of struggling to challenge every negative story through sheer willpower, hypnosis allowed us to create new beliefs that align with the secure, loving partners we wanted to be. We moved away from I'm not enough or I'll always be hurt to beliefs like I am worthy of love and relationships are safe spaces for connection and growth. But here is the most important part to understand: all beliefs are decisions. No matter if your beliefs are empowering or limiting, they are all decisions you made at a specific time in your past. Decisions you have carried within, often unconsciously, ever since. Hypnosis allows you to pinpoint the decision point for your limiting belief and then shift your decision in that specific point in time. And once you do that, the change is often immediate and lasting. Then it's all about practicing the new beliefs in the present moment. The more you reinforce these empowering beliefs, the more they will naturally shape your actions, your emotions, and ultimately your relationships. Hypnosis doesn't erase the past, but it helps you let go of the grip it has on your present, making room for a new, healthier dynamic. And when you pair this inner work with conscious effort, the results can be truly transformative. When you focus on these three pillars, your emotional home, your identity, and your beliefs, you stop fixating on what you are doing wrong or trying to control the behaviors of your partner. Instead, you focus on becoming a secure, grounded version of yourself. And when that happens, everything else starts to fall into place. One thing that is important to note here: don't beat yourself up for the fact that you are not there yet. Current results are just a reflection of who you used to be. What matters is your trajectory, where you are headed. If you and your partner are both committed to growth, the changes you make today will show up down the line. So, where does this leave us? My wife and I aren't perfect. We still have our moments, times when I feel anxious or when she needs space. But now we notice those patterns. We talk about them. We choose to respond differently. And that is what makes all the difference. The goal really isn't perfection, it's progress. It's about walking the journey together, even when it's messy. Because at the end of the day, there is no final destination. There is just the ongoing process of learning, growing, and becoming more and more secure. So, what do you think? Does this resonate with your own experiences? Please let me know down in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you very much.